This girl never imagined that after being transported to another world, she would gain the ability to rewrite the storyline. When the hero party couldn't win a war, she simply drew out an ultimate boss. And with just one simple attack, this boss could easily defeat the entire insectoid army surrounding the town. Everyone was stunned. Not long ago, they had looked down on Natsuko, because when they first met her, she couldn't even defeat a single insectoid. If it weren't for their help, she would have died here. Natsuko looked at the people around her using strange skills, and she was tempted, because just a few minutes ago, she was still eating lunch at her company. Then, something got stuck in her throat, and she passed out. When Natsuko opened her eyes again, she found herself in this strange place. A unicorn even greeted her enthusiastically, but Natsuko thought they were playing some kind of role-playing game. She felt they were acting a bit too realistically. Then, Memon was curious about Natsuko's outfit. She thought Natsuko might be an orc from another region. The hero decided to return to the town, and upon hearing this, the unicorn immediately changed form to allow everyone to ride it. Natsuko was scared when she saw this. Now she realized she really had been transported to another world. In the afternoon, Natsuko walked alone to the town, where a celebration for the heroes was taking place. The residents were grateful to the heroes for protecting the last town once again. Natsuko looked at the familiar faces on the stage, and she finally confirmed that this world was the setting of her favorite childhood animated movie, Destruction Chronicles. When Natsuko thought about the upcoming events, she made up her mind and approached the hero. The insectoid they had just encountered was only a scout, and tonight, they would launch a full-scale attack. However, the hero refused to believe Natsuko. This was because his scout companion hadn't issued any warnings. Natsuko explained that QJ was recharging, and by the time he woke up to scout, it would be too late. But Yunio, already annoyed with Natsuko, told her to go sit by the smelly ditch. Natsuko was furious. Yunio hadn't even taken her to the town earlier, and now he dared to scold her. So, Natsuko grabbed Yunio by the head and slammed it onto the ground. The hero couldn't stand it anymore, and stopped her. He wouldn't trust anyone who bullied his companions. Later that evening, hungry and frustrated, Natsuko sat in a corner, while the hero casually enjoyed a chicken leg and flaunted it in front of her. Natsuko felt very uncomfortable. She never expected the hero from Destruction Chronicles to be so petty. At this point, Natsuko no longer cared about the events to come. Though the insectoids would be defeated, the hero would suffer a great loss. The entire town would be destroyed, and Yunio would die. Just then, the guard sounded the alarm. An insectoid army was attacking. The hero looked at Natsuko in disbelief, but there was no time for him to think. He rushed to the front line, looking at the approaching insectoid army. The soldiers were in despair. They knew they couldn't win, and this was the last town. Even if they ran, there would be nowhere left to escape. Natsuko secretly watched the battle from a distance. True to the story, the hero chose to face the army alone. QJ began scouting, but there were too many to count. The hero, hearing this, remained calm. He immediately ordered Yunio and Memon to support from the air, making sure the remaining insectoids didn't enter the town. Meanwhile, the hero rushed into the insectoid army. Natsuko watched this scene, and it reminded her of the time she watched Destruction Chronicles in the cinema as a child. It was because of this movie that she had decided to become a concept artist, and later a director in the animation industry. Though the hero was strong, he couldn't defeat the large insectoid army on his own.